like I tell like my coworkers this all the time. Like we could like know the same thing, have the same certs and skill set, but if I have a degree and you don't, they're gonna pay me more. Like it,
Hmm.
that's just the name of the game. They are gonna pay me more just for that degree.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to Be Insightful in Technology, brought to you by the Be Insightful community. In this podcast, we will bring together people in the technology realm from various different backgrounds to share their experiences while also providing you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so you can do it too. Technology is the new wave when it comes to careers, so it's best to keep up and continue learning on what positions, technologies, and lifestyles are available and being created so you can continue to scale up. Being insightful in technology is for listeners who aren't afraid to take chances. There's so much you can do. So go ahead and subscribe to our podcast so you can gain that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be insightful in technology. Welcome aboard.
What are your thoughts, comments, and concerns on the field now? Like, what do you feel like you're currently seeing that you want to just speak on?
I'm pretty sure everybody talks about this in this field. It's degrees versus certifications. To me, right now, I would really am leaning more towards certifications because like that training and experience that you're looking for, you get that in the certs. With college degrees, I mean, they do a couple of labs and stuff like that a little bit on the hands-on experience and stuff, you know. But like other than that, like this degree is really like only like help negotiate pay. The certs really give you that experience and stuff, and you could get an internship while you're in college too. But I mean, some of these interns they barely like let you do anything unless you get like a really good internship where they like let you like dive in hands on and stuff like that. But other than that, like I said, degree is really just for negotiating pay, in my opinion. Now, I'm not knocking degrees. Like always try to like extend your education, definitely, but definitely try to get certs while you're in college, because that's like I said, that's what me and Shy have been doing like this whole time, getting certifications while we're in college.
Yeah, like going through right after high school, I was going through kind of like a job search. I had
Hmm.
an internship right after high school, but I was so hard-headed. I need to create a episode for myself on my journey, but I was kind of so hard-headed that I solely wanted to focus on networking. If it wasn't networking, I wasn't doing it.
Hmm.
So going into that mindset, because I was already looking at places where it's like, who's going to accept me for what I have? Because upon graduating high school, I had a bunch of certs, like a bunch of certifications.
Oh yeah.
And then I was already heading for my associate's degree. I got that literally like a month or two after high school. So having all of that and then trying to jump into the job field, and it's like without experience, it's nothing.
And
Without experience, it is not anything.
they're not going to talk to
So
you.
right. So what would you say has been your job hunt experience been like with the certifications and going to school? What have you feel like it's been like for you?
It was kind of rough. Like because when I first started looking for jobs, I wasn't really looking for jobs like right after high school until like okay, like maybe probably like my second semester of college. That's when I got like my first like I guess like help desk job. I work for Geek Squad. Basic, simple, A+. But after that, I was trying to look for an internship because I didn't want to be at Geek Squad like forever. And that was rough. Like nobody was really like looking at me, even with all my certifications and stuff like that. It was rough finding an internship or even a job and stuff like that. The new job I'm at now, they even said like we're really only considering people, kind of like with certifications. Like even if you have a degree, they'll hire you, but you're gonna start at help desk. Like just get that out of your mind. Like if you're going into this field, you're going to start at a help desk job, like Geek Squad, service desk, or anything like that. So just keep that in mind.
Like that's so true. That is so
Yeah,
true. Being in help desk is just inevitable, is what
yeah,
people say. Unless you know somebody. Like unless you know somebody that can hook you up with something, it's
yeah.
always about who you know at this point if you want something outside of the beginning position. Like it
Hmm.
really is. So
Definitely.
that's just the truth. And
Yeah,
you mentioned the A plus, and for those who don't know, the A plus is a CompTIA certification that is like fundamentals on hardware and software. So is it still the two-part exam?
yeah. It's still
Yeah.
2 parts, far as I know. Um, yeah, yeah. It's still 2 parts.
So yeah, the two-part exam is like hardware and then it's like software, I think. See, I never got the other half of my A plus. I
I
took
never got
one
that.
part and I never took the other because it was just like
Fun
I
fact,
wasn't.
same here. And I still got the job at Geek Squad. Like I just really tell people I have the A+. And it's like, okay, like because like once you get in, you're in. Like they don't really care about the
Mhm.
A+ anymore.
Right? Because there's we're gonna have to do a lot of further digging, but for certifications, there are going to be bottom to top certifications like let me say it, novice to advanced and completely professional. That is kind of like a good track to look at. So when we talk about certifications being a little bit more like weight, they have a little bit more weight than degrees is
Mm,
because they're on a more technical track. So they bring those skills to you. So they put everything that kind of is industry level, what you'll
mm.
need to know for the job. Because people always say like when you get on the job, they're gonna train you. That's how you're gonna
Yeah,
know. So
and that's what
there
they're
are
doing now with me.
yeah. So there's always fundamental stuff you need to know before you go in. Like when you go to a job for technology and you don't know what an IP address is, they're gonna look at you crazy unless they're willing to sit here and explain every little thing to you. And most employers, they'll be like, okay, if I have to do that, I might as well hire someone overseas or something that already know
Mm,
this because I there's gonna be less time on my hands, less I gotta pay you and whatever. So
exactly.
definitely check out that. There'll be more information. I'll try to get more information out on that as well because certification route to me is definitely weight heavy.
Yeah,
It's really like more important. Degrees are fine. Like he said when he was like negotiating pay for is really the reason. It
exactly.
it really is because it gives them HR reps don't know what technology professionals do. So
At all.
by kind of like a generational standpoint, it's always been if you have this amount of education, we can give you more money.
Hmm.
So that's what they kind of judge it by. They don't know about it yet. I feel like they're doing better with putting IT professionals in HR roles, but that's slowly but surely, and you can't depend on it.
Exactly.
So,
Cause like I tell like my coworkers this all the time. Like we could like know the same thing, have the same certs and skill set, but if I have a degree and you don't, they're gonna pay me more. Like it
mhm,
that's just the name of the game. They are gonna pay me more just for that degree.
yeah. And honestly, I don't being a person that has gone through both paths, like if they want to pay me more because I have a degree, I got that degree so I can get paid more.
Mhm.
So I can't sit here and say it's worthy to get mad over someone for having that because they went through that process so they can get to that point.
Yeah,
It's just like, are you going to sit and be complacent about it or are you going to get yours too? Or, you're going to work your way up to the top and so hope they see your value. So
you're right.
it's kind of like a up to you thing that you got to look at. There's going to be a lot of competition because once you're in there, you're kind of, I wouldn't say you're competing with your coworkers, but at a point, if you want to get to a position and both you guys are applying for it, you're competing with them and they're going to
You
take
are.
that into account. They're always going to take that into account.
Definitely.
So saying it now, the degree versus certification. When you go to a job interview, do you offset, like they look at your resume and they're just like, okay, you've done this, 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 and this, but you have this and you're missing this. Do you sit here, how do you convince them that you're that person for the job?
I normally just set it out to them like, look, like this is what I can do, this is what I've done, this is what I have experienced and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest, like they want me because there are other companies out there that like not be cocky or anything that want me. So I mean, if you don't want me, I can definitely go somewhere else. But I mean, there's really like no convincing that you can really do. I mean, you really just like have to like just tell them like what you can do and what you can't do, and they accept you. They accept you. I mean, it is what it is.
See, what you said is about like, this is what you've done. A lot of people are afraid to speak up in interviews. Like
Mhm.
interviews are supposed to be conversational wise. If it doesn't feel like a conversation, then
Yeah,
the job is not for you. A
yeah,
lot of I've been told this by a lot of interviewers. They want someone that will fit in where they're at. Like they want
hmm
someone who will fit in with a group of people that are at that job. If if the interview doesn't feel like a conversation, doesn't feel natural, it's not going to be the best option for you.
at
If
all.
you
Yeah, because every interview I've done, it has always been a conversation. Like, because we get off the wall and like talk about like other topics. Like we really like he really just like ignores the questions and just like talk about something else. And I guess that's how I really like get the job with certain companies because I just make it into a normal conversation with them, and they like that.
they really do. They're people too, is what everybody has to understand. Like the person interviewing you is a person too. Like
Mhm.
I've listened to my managers interview others, and me being interviewed myself, it's just like they want it to feel as natural as possible. They want
Mhm.
their nerves to go away, like your
Yeah,
nerves should go away. So definitely
definitely,
try to be as calm as possible going into an interview, and don't be afraid to, upsell yourself a little bit because the whole
definitely.
process of the interview is, selling yourself. I hate that term, but it
But
is.
it is true though. Like you are really selling yourself to these companies.
So you have to, if they shoot you down on, like, if you're in the middle of a conversation with, your interviewer, and they say that, you know, they don't feel like you could do a certain thing, then you
Mhm.
have to combat it with what you have done. Like Mario said, what you've done and how it can be applied to what they're asking for.
Mhm.
So it's good that you did this for that company, but what can you do for me is always going to be the question.
Yeah, because like I said, the company I'm at with now, like I was really interviewing for the network admin position, but like I said, I didn't have no experience, like with being the network admin. But I told them what I did have experience with and stuff like that. They were like, "Oh wow, like you're really far ahead of the game, more than like people that have degrees with no certification stuff like that." But they were like, "Okay, cool. How about this? We're gonna put you at this service desk job. And then in 90 days, we're going to reevaluate you. If you get your CCNA and stuff like that, like we'll just promote you to like junior network admin or network admin or stuff like that. So, hey, I'm like I said, these companies, if you just tell them like what you can do, like I said, what you can't do, they will work with you. They will.
Mhm. And in all honesty, with tech jobs being so rare, and there are a lot more popping up than can be filled. So let a company know everything that you bring to the table. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to do that. Let them know that, hey, I have all this. This is some stuff I need to work on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Y'all gonna help me
that's
out.
exactly.
Y'all-
That's exactly what I told them. I was like, I haven't touched like Cisco routers and switches since I was in high school. They were like, "Oh, that's fine." They were surprised I knew what that was.
Mm, so any little bit experience, like you gotta let it shine through. Like you have to.
Mhm.
Getting your honestly any hands-on experience that you've had, they need to know. They just need to
Yep.
know because it's just
hmm
like with a lot of stuff, it's like once you learn it, you never really forget it. But at the same time, it's gonna be enforced more when you get on the job.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
it's definitely gonna be enforced more.
Thank you for listening to Be Insightful in Technology. Hope to see you again soon. Check in with us every week on Thursday and listen into this podcast. If you like the episode, go ahead and rate it and subscribe on the platform that you're listening. And also, don't be afraid to reach out to me on LinkedIn if you want to be a guest. I'm at Shakiria Johnson. Link is in the show notes. Go ahead and just reach out to me. Don't be afraid. We're open to discussing whatever we can. Don't forget, there's a Q&A if you're listening in on Spotify. So go ahead and answer the question. We'll read your answers in the next episode.